Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today I have a very exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be doing a reading vlog dedicated to reading one series which I don't think I've ever done before on my channel, so I'm very excited, but that series is none other than the Kingdom of Cards series by Janella Angelis. So obviously the first book in the series is Where Dreams Descend, and we all know I adore this book so much. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and I am going to be rereading this book because this baby, the sequel, When Night Breaks, just came out. It came out, I think yesterday, the day I'm filming this. I think it came out yesterday. But I wanted to do like an unboxing of when I got this book because I pre-ordered it and everything, but it came early, so when I got it in the mail I didn't realize it was this. So I opened it and I was like, oh my god, what the heck? So I don't have any footage of me unboxing this, but trust me, I was very excited. There was some screaming, there were maybe like a few tears, it's fine. But this book just came out and this is the finale to the duology and I am so excited to read this book. If you don't know what Where Dreams Descend is about, it follows this girl named Kalia who is a magician. She is working under the teachings of this other magician named Jack at his club that is very similar to like Moulin Rouge, think of that. This book is very like Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge, so the vibes are just immaculate. And by the way, if you can hear my dog panting, he is sitting right next to me and he's just panting away. So I'm sorry if you can hear that. But Kalia has always dreamed of being a show magician, and in this world female magicians can't really be like show magicians, is kind of frowned upon. They're expected to just use their magic like around the home doing womanly things, you know how it is. So she finds out about this competition that's going on in a nearby town for show magicians, and so she runs away to enter, and Jack is basically trying to find her. Now while she is at this competition, there may be a cute little judge there who is a very sad boy named DeMarco, and I love him very much. And then the plot kind of goes from there. Things start happening. I don't want to say much more than that, but basically in this vlog I'm going to be rereading this book and then reading this book for the first time! And I'm so excited. I am so excited to vlog all of my thoughts with you guys. This is going to be a mixture of spoiler-free and a spoilery vlog. I will make sure that I say when I'm about to talk about spoilers, so you can still watch this vlog even if you haven't read this series. I'll probably leave timestamps below of when I do talk about spoilers, so I will make it clear if I'm about to talk about spoilers, do not worry. I think it'll be mostly spoiler-free, but yeah. I'm just so excited to reread this. I haven't read this since July of last year, and I've actually only read an ebook copy because I was lucky enough to get the ARC of this book, so this is gonna be my first time reading it physically, and I'm going to tab it, which I am very excited about. So I just can't wait to relive all these feels and to see DeMarco again, and Kalia obviously. And I'm just so excited for Janella because I know how hard her journey was to publish these books, and you know, she is a debut author who debuted her first book and her first series during a panini, so I'm just very proud of her and I cannot wait to dive back into this world. It's gonna be so amazing. I don't know if you can tell how excited I am, but yeah, so I am hoping to read these probably in the span of like a week, but we'll see how that goes with school and everything. Right now I am planning to just settle down for the evening and start this, probably light a candle, put on an ASMR room, you know how it is, and start reading this, and I'm ready to cry. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take you guys along with me and it'll be great. Okay, so it's a little later and I just got to chapter 4, which is close to 40 pages in, and I'm already so happy to be back reading this again, and I love Kalia so much. Ugh, and like already there's so much that I'm realizing that I forgot, that I didn't even realize I forgot. Did that make sense? No, it didn't. But like, I completely forgot about how Kalia ended up at Hellfire House, and that like Jack's dad was the one who found her when she was a baby. She didn't even meet Jack until his dad died, which was only a few years ago. I just completely forgot about all that. And I also forgot about Jack's whole thing with like his power and that he can like manipulate people's memories. I completely forgot about all this stuff, so I'm very glad that I'm rereading this before reading the second book, because I think my brain was just full of like DeMarco that I forgot about all this stuff. But yeah, so once I remembered that, then like the part that I just read was Kalia trying to run away for the first time, and now I'm remembering what, you know, Jack uses his power for, and things are coming back to me. I'm already stressed, and also like there's already been some foreshadowing involving mirrors. If you know, you know. Yeah. So that hurt my feelings a bit. I have been tabbing. I don't think you can really see yet. You can kind of see, but obviously I'm not very far into it yet, but I just wanted to say those things because like already I feel like there's so much that I feel like I've forgotten. But I think it doesn't take too long for Kalia to go to Glorian. Like already we've heard about the competition happening there, so I think she's gonna make her way there soon, but we'll see. I'm just stressed, but I'm having such a great time reading this again. And yeah, so I'm gonna get back to reading, but just wanted to do that quick little update. But yeah, I'm having such a good time, and I can't wait to see DeMarco again. Oh my god. So I'll update again soon. Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Hello. It looks like it's the same day, but it's not. It's like 2 days later. Most of my updates are probably going to be in my room, in my bed, because I'm going to be doing most of my reading at night probably in the next week because I have midterms coming up and stuff, so it's going to be like working during the day, reading at night. But anyways, I am now almost 150 pages into Where Dreams Ascend. Obviously I'm loving it. Like, I'm always so stressed when I do rereads. I mean, I haven't reread that many books, but like I reread Strange the Dreamer earlier this year. Now I'm rereading this, and I'm always so stressed, and like I feel like I have to read, like I feel like I have to analyze like every sentence. I don't know why. Like I feel like for most people when they do rereads, they read it like so much quicker because they've already read it. But for me, I find it takes me slower because I'm just like analyzing everything. I don't know why. But anyways, so I'm obviously loving it. We are now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but Kalia is in Glorian now, and the competition is kind of starting. They had this meeting with everyone, and there was this thing that happened, and it looks like someone is trying to sabotage the competition, and some people think it's Kalia, including DeMarco, who we have met now, and I love him obviously, and he's so dumb. Because like him and Kalia, they don't get off on the best start, and it's not like hate to love, but it's very much like annoyance to love, especially on her side. Like she definitely finds it very annoying at first, and he's just so dumb because he like basically accuses her that she's the one who's been like sabotaging the competition, and she's like, why would I do that? And he's like, I think it's you, just because he's stupid. And then the next time he sees her, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go apologize, and he goes up to her, and then he starts talking to her about like the rules of the competition and making like she should make sure she's following the rules, and she's like, what is up with you? And he's like, actually I just came over here to apologize, and she's like, well, that's a weird way to apologize. Like he's just so like, I'm just like, sir, just you need to stop. I don't know, I love him so much. He's so clueless. So I love DeMarco so much. Like, I mean, obviously Kalia is my favorite character, but like DeMarco is such a close second, and he's one of my favorite like male love interests in a book ever. I love him. He's so anyways, so we are also like getting hints as to his backstory, because we know like he was this like super famous show magician, and he's only 18, but he's already retired because of something that happened like a couple years ago, but we don't know what happened. I remember, I think, like basically what happens, but I feel like there's some stuff that I'm not remembering, and like we know that he's trying to find out information about his sister Ava, but we don't know really what the situation is, which that part I do remember. So yeah, we're gonna find out more about that, and I'm really loving it, and I'm just so happy to be reading this again. Another thing that I want to mention is I love Kalia and Eros. Eros? I never said his name out loud. I think it's Eros. Yeah, Eros. Anyways, I love Kalia and Eros's friendship so much. Like, I find that when they meet, because they kind of become friends so fast, it's almost like insta love but with friends. Like, you know, I don't think this is a spoiler to say how they meet because they meet pretty early on, but he tries to like pickpocket from her and she catches him, and then she's like, well, now you owe me. So like she says like, I'll forgive you if you become like my assistant for this competition. And then they're just like friends. Like, I love them, and I love how protective he is of her. Like when DeMarco kind of like comes up to apologize and then messes that up, and like Kalia is clearly annoyed with DeMarco. Like Eros is like, do we have a problem? Like what is he apologizing for? And I'm like, oh, I just love how protective he is of her, and like they have such a cute friendship, and I don't know, I love them. And like Kalia, like she's never really had a real friend before. Like the only person she's ever felt kind of close to is Jack, but that wasn't even like a real friendship. Like she felt close to him because she kind of had no other choice. Eros too, like he's never really had someone that he could call a friend basically, and so I just love that they found each other. And like I don't know, I just find they work so well as friends and they're so cute. So yeah, I'm just I don't know if you could tell, but I'm just really happy reading this book. There also was like, I mean, there's a lot of great quotes in this book, but there was one in particular that I was like, I loved it so much. It was when like her and Eros first meet, and like it takes her a while to even tell him her name because like she's pretty concerned about where she ran away from, and like she doesn't really want anyone to like figure out where she came from exactly. And so like when he's like asking her name, she says, ahem, another lie stood at the edge of her tongue, another life. She could take a new name and banish everything from before, but the idea of erasing herself, her name, pulled at her. Her name wasn't owned by the house or by Jack. It belonged to her and no one else. She's such a bad bitch. I love her. Like, I just love, obviously it would make sense if she was like, you know what, like I'm just going to like erase the past, have a clean slate, take a new name on, and forget everything that happened. But like I love that she's like, no, like Jack doesn't own me, and like what happened is not my fault, and I want to continue being myself because this is my name and I deserve to keep it basically. So I don't know, that part, like it really got to me. I really loved that line. So yeah, just wanted to share that. But basically I'm just having a great time, and I'm very excited to keep reading. So I'm gonna read some tonight. It's already like 9 o'clock and I do have to get up kind of early for work tomorrow, so I don't know how much I'll get done tonight, but I wanted to do this update to kind of let you guys know where I'm at and all my thoughts and everything. And yeah, so I'm gonna go keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. I'm on page 176. Kalia and DeMarco are talking through the door. If you know, you know. I love them so much. That is all. Hello, it is a few days later again. I am now on page 364, so I am getting quite close to finishing this book. Look at all my tabs! I've been just tabbing it so much, and as you just saw, I was reading some of this at work today because today is Thanksgiving and I had to work this morning, but because it's Thanksgiving, not a lot of people came in, and for most of my shift I was the only one working, so I brought my book and I got a decent amount of reading done. I read like 60 pages at work, and of course I had to be at work when I had to read my favorite part in the whole book, which is chapter 39. I'm not gonna spoil anything yet. I can talk more about it later when I talk about spoilers with this book. I love love that chapter so much. I have to say, the romance in this book I think is by far the best part of this book. Janella Angelis just wrote the romance so well. Also, you might hear Laszlo barking in the distance, but yeah, if she wrote a romance book one day, I would be all over that, because the romance in this book is like, it's like she looked into my brain and was like, what would be the perfect romance for Darian to read? And then she just wrote it. Because I love DeMarco so much, I love Kalia so much, and like the way that things develop between them, oh, chef's kiss. And also like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the greenhouse. And like, let me find the line. The line. Should I have gotten you something bigger than a greenhouse? Thank you. Good night. I am deceased. Oh my god, I read that while I was at work. And I mean, obviously I've read this book before, but I was trying not to screech. Like, I was literally, I had tears in my eyes reading that, and at that point my coworker had gotten there, so I was like, do not look at me. I'm having a moment right now. So it's safe to say I am thoroughly enjoying this reread. Like, I am just so happy. I feel like I've said this a million times already, but I'm just so happy to be back in this world. I just love it so much. Like, every time I pick up this book, I just get so happy. Like, it's been the best part of my days recently, just knowing that like when I go to bed I can read and pick up this book and be back with these characters. So now obviously, like, since we're getting close to the end of the book, obviously things are starting to happen with the show and certain things are happening. I mean, if you've read the book you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, so some mysterious things are going on and I am very excited but also very stressed to get to the end of this book. So yeah, so I'll probably update again once I finish it, but I think my plan is to try to finish this tonight. Right now it's like 7:14, which I could easily finish this tonight, but Dancing with the Stars is on tonight. So like, I'll try to read a bit during the show, like during commercials, and then maybe try to finish it afterwards. But yeah, hopefully I can finish this tonight and then maybe tomorrow start When Night Breaks. Oh my god. I'm not ready, I'm not emotionally prepared, so yeah, we'll see how that goes, but if I could finish this tonight that would be amazing, and then I can give my final spoiler-free thoughts as well as all my spoilery thoughts on this book, and then we can get into When Night Breaks, and that'll be amazing. So I'll probably talk to you guys once I'm done this book. Oh my god. Hello everyone, it is the next day. I apologize for this lighting, but this is what we're working with right now. But as you just saw last night, I finished Where Dreams Descend and it was everything. I mean, that ending just hurts me so much, but it was just as good as the first time, maybe even better. I don't know. I just loved it so much. This book just, I love it so much. I obviously gave it 5 stars again, like, and look at all my tabs. They're so, I don't know how well you can see them, but I love them. I just, there's not much I could say without spoilers, but the ending, amazing. I do remember when I read this the first time, I didn't completely like understand what happened at the end, and reading it a second time, like, it made so much more sense. And I don't know if that was just me the first time being like, huh? But like when I was reading it this time, I was like, oh, okay, obviously this is what's happening. So I don't know, but I am so happy I reread this before getting into When Night Breaks, because there was so much in this book that like I just forgot about, and I'm so glad that I refreshed my memory so that going into the sequel and the last book I will have everything fresh in my mind. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars. Obviously I love DeMarco so much, one of my favorite male love interest characters ever. I love him so much. And obviously I love Kalia, she's the queen. Jack, he can go. I know like some people really love him and I'm like, how? Why? I think it's the same people who like the Darkling, like a little manipulative there. But anyways, so I think that's all I can really say without spoiling it. So I think I'm gonna get into the spoiler section of this now, because there's so much I want to talk about that I need to talk spoilers about. So that's it for the non-spoilery section of the Where Dreams Descend part of this vlog. So I will have timestamps down below, but if you do not want to know any spoilers for this book, then skip ahead to my non-spoiler section for When Night Breaks. So I will see you in a second. But if you are here for the spoilers, oh my god. So something I haven't been able to talk about yet, so this happens before the end, is Kalia and DeMarco. I love how their whole romance develops so much. It's so cute and so romantic, and I mean, DeMarco just builds a greenhouse for her, and how that, like, how she finds it, and like she finds it before he's ready to show it to her, and he was like, it wasn't ready yet. And then later, like, she asks him like, what was the plan for like you giving me the greenhouse? And he was like, well, first you were supposed to win, and then after the show I would come back and show it to you. And then she kisses him. Oh, I remember the first time I read this book and I read that part, like I was literally screaming. And the fact that I read that part while I was at work yesterday and I couldn't scream, oh my god. And then I think like a customer came in right after I read that and I was like, I need a moment, like, do you mind? So their first kiss is so sweet, and like just the development of them too, like it's just so sweet. It's like the best word I can think of. It's just so wholesome. It's exactly like my kind of romance. I love their romance so much. It's just so soft, and the way they feel for each other. I love when two people meet and like right away they feel something for each other, but like it takes them both a while to realize that they feel something for each other. And also, can we talk about, hold on. I know I already said this in the non-spoilery section. Okay. Oh yeah, I wrote some post-its. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try to, but I wrote, baby boy, ooh. Oh yeah, so I want to read that quote after, but I mean the whole, should I have gotten you something bigger than a greenhouse? Because she's like, I thought it was only me. And he's like, that's after they kiss, and he says, should I have gotten you something bigger than a greenhouse? It's just so romantic. Oh my god. And then, so one line I really wanted to read. Oh, why is the lighting all of a sudden better? I don't know, I'm not gonna question it. But like after they kiss, first of all, I love how DeMarco is like, should we talk about this like right away without, you know, giving time to, you know, feel what they're feeling. He's like, we should talk about this. And she's like, oh you, classic DeMarco. So anyways, so after they kiss, we're like kind of in Kalia's head, and it says, he ran a hand over his face before nodding his fingers in front of him. She marveled at how she once believed him to be made of stone, and how little it took to soften him into such a mess of nerves and uncertainties. There was honesty in it. Gently she stilled his fingers under her palm, untangling them one by one, brushing each knuckle, each fingertip, so easily breakable if the wrong hands found them. Like, first of all, I love how protective they are of each other. Like obviously DeMarco is very protective over her, but she also like feels this need to protect him because of everything he went through. Like, because this is before she finds out about his past and about his sister and how his sister disappeared. And so when she, especially once she finds that out, like she just feels this need to protect him because of this loss that he experienced, because, you know, he's convinced that his sister didn't die, which I think most of the world is convinced that she did die, but that's a whole other thing. So that's just something I needed to talk about without spoilers. So then we have the whole trope where like she tries to push him away to protect him, which like I hate that trope, but not in a like, I don't think it's a badly written trope. I mean it can be, but like not in this case, but it makes me so sad, that trope. But yeah, then they reconcile, so it's fine. So then we have the whole ending. And Jack comes during their final performance and he like takes DeMarco's form and like switches places with him so that he's dancing with Kalia, and Kalia doesn't realize at first. I hate this man. And obviously DeMarco wants to help, and also the whole thing with like DeMarco told Kalia that after the whole accident with his sister he lost his magic, but then when he comes to Glorian and he meets Kalia, like his magic, it seems like it's starting to come back, and that's how he saved Kalia during one of the shows. And then like they had their weird thing where like a burst of magic happened between them and she kind of passed out for a second. But Jack is telling her that he is stealing her magic from her, and we realize that's what's happening because at one point like DeMarco is trying to use his magic to save everyone, and the more he uses it the more weak Kalia feels. So she knows it's true, but Jack is trying to convince her that like that was DeMarco's plan this whole time, but it's not, because once we're in DeMarco's head, like he's just super confused about what's going on. And we know that he wasn't stealing it on purpose from Kalia, but now like Kalia isn't sure what's going on. But then there's mirrors everywhere. And we know that like in order to save what's going on right now, to save everyone in the ballroom, like someone kind of needs to sacrifice himself, or Jack kind of needs to get someone to sacrifice himself because of the whole like, you know, there was 3 people who disappeared and there was 4 people who disappeared, 3 who were injured, or 3 who were unconscious, 2 who were injured, and then there's 1 left. And so Kalia realizes this, and then she goes through the mirror with Jack, and it just, oh my god, it breaks my heart. Like she's gone, and like it's just the whole thing happening again with DeMarco, and it's just so sad because like it's literally his worst nightmare, the fact that he lost his sister the exact same way, and now he's losing Kalia, who, I mean, he hasn't said this yet, but obviously he loves her. And so, oh my god, it's just so sad. And then we have the epilogue, and I think it's DeMarco, Eros, obviously. Love Eros so much. One of my favorites, obviously. DeMarco, Eros, Canary, right? I think it's DeMarco, Eros, Canary, and Lottie, who kind of team up to try to get Kalia back and try to figure out where she went. And then there's the whole like, you know, the magician stared at his fragmented reflection without fearing it for once, because he has this like piece of mask and he's looking at his reflection through it. And it says, without knowing that on the other side of the mirror, another magician stared back. Which is obviously Kalia. Oh my god. Oh, I love this book so much. So I don't know if that's really my spoilery thoughts or just me screaming. But I love this book so much, and it was so hard reading this last year and not having the second book, and now I have the second book. It's over there. I'm too lazy to get up and get it. Do I have any theories for the second book? I mean, obviously DeMarco and Kalia are gonna reunite. They better. Because what the heck if they don't. And I'm assuming him and Ava are going to reunite, which is going to be so sweet. I'm wondering if Eros will have a love interest, and they never say it in this book, but I'm pretty sure he's either gay or bisexual or maybe pansexual. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not straight, but I hope he has a love interest in this book. That would be amazing. And I'm interested to see the dynamics between DeMarco, Eros, Canary, and Lottie. That's a really interesting group there, and I really want to see more moments between DeMarco and Eros, because they have a few in this first book, and like, first of all, Eros is just so funny. I love him. But I'm really interested to see more of their dynamic, so I really hope to see more of them talking, and I just hope it ends well for DeMarco and Kalia, and I hope she's okay, and I kind of hope Jack hope something bad happens to him. So, but like, I really don't know what's gonna happen. I haven't seen any spoilers yet, so that's great. I'm actually not sure if I'm gonna start that tonight or tomorrow, because right now when I'm filming this, it's almost 8 o'clock and it's a Tuesday, and normally Dancing with the Stars is not on Tuesdays, but for some reason this week it is. So I have to watch that soon, and then tomorrow I have school, so I have to wake up early for that, so I can't stay up too late reading tonight. So all that to say, I don't know if I'm starting it tonight or tomorrow, but whenever I do start it, I'm just so excited. It's gonna be so good. I am so stressed. I don't want to cry, but I'm sure I will. But yeah, so those are all my thoughts on Where Dreams Descend. I love this book so much, and I'm so glad I got to reread it and tab it, and I'm gonna tab When Night Breaks too. So whenever I do start that, I will let you guys know. But the first part will not be spoilery, but that will be hard. But yeah, so I'll see you guys once I start When Night Breaks. Yay! Hello, I have officially started When Night Breaks and I'm already feeling so much. So I'm on page like 160, so you can't see that, making some decent progress. I have started tabbing it. I have no idea if you can see that. I don't think you can, but I started this last night, and today I started doing a 24-hour readathon with Lisa. We started at 1:30 today and we're going till 1:30 tomorrow, obviously, and I'm actually about to do some sprints with her and Casey. We're going live on my channel, so that'll be fun. But I have gotten a decent amount read today, and I'm hoping to read a lot of this tonight and then either finish it maybe tonight, depending on how late I can stay up. Maybe tonight, but definitely tomorrow, if not tonight. But my spoiler-free thoughts so far. I mean, first of all, like, if you've read the first book, I'm not gonna spoil the first book if you haven't, but if you have read the first book, you know how it ended, so I knew this book was gonna be sad, and there's been so many moments that I'm just like, oh my god, they made me so sad. I haven't cried yet, but I've definitely gotten a bit emotional. It's just so sad. Like, there was no way this book wasn't gonna be sad, and I really hope it ends well because I'm stressed. This whole book is just stressful. There's also been a lot of pretty big reveals so far, and I have been pretty shook, like, especially involving Jack, I would say. Well, Jack and some other things. But we find out more about Jack, and does it make me like him more? I'm not sure yet. It depends how it plays out, but I can see that it might make me like him more, but we'll see. But yeah, there's also some stuff we found out about some other things. Obviously I won't say, but did not see any of that coming at all. So it's been a wild ride so far. I am really enjoying it, but my main emotion is anxiety. Because I really just want this to end well, and I have a really bad feeling. Like, I think it's gonna end happy, but I'm sure our characters are gonna struggle a lot in this book. So I'm just stressed reading this. So I kind of want to finish it fast just so I can, like, know that everyone is okay, hopefully. Unless they're not okay, then that would be bad. But anyways, those are my spoiler-free thoughts so far. We've met some new characters. I don't know how I feel about them yet. We'll see, because I don't know if I trust some of them. We'll see. But I'm just so happy to be finding out more about the story and to see DeMarco again. My poor baby boy. But yeah, so I'm about to do sprints with Lisa and Casey, so hopefully I can get a lot of this read tonight and finish it within this 24-hour readathon. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts, and I'll check in again maybe later, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, so wish me luck. We'll see how this goes. Sprinting with my besties, and I am now close to page 270, so we have made some progress. And I just wanted to say that something was just revealed, and it was something that I had guessed, and I was like, I wasn't sure if I was right, But something was just revealed and it turned out I was right, and I feel very proud of myself, so I just wanted to document this. And when I do the spoilery section for this vlog, I will tell you what I was right about, because I am proud of myself. I don't know if it was like an obvious thing and everyone's gonna guess it, but you can't take this away from me. But yeah, so I am determined to finish this today. I'm gonna try to finish it within the 24-hour readathon. We finish at 1:30, but if not, I will definitely finish this today, I think. I have like 200 pages left, so we'll see how that goes, but I'm definitely gonna try. No. I am gonna finish it today. Do or do not. There is no try. That's what Yoda says. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably Zoom with Lisa soon, depending on when she's ready, but I'm gonna finish this today. I'm probably gonna cry. I'm very nervous. I'm very stressed. I mean, I'm still really enjoying this book. There are some things that I'm like a little confused about, so I'm hoping they become more clear. But also like, I feel like something's gonna happen soon and I have a bad feeling about how it's gonna go. So anyways, it's hard to talk about this without spoilers, but we'll see. So I'll update you guys probably soon. I'm stressed. I'll see you guys soon. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh my god, stop. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm going to throw up.
Don't do that.
Oh my god. I want to cry. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god, stop. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Whew. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sam just lifted his head up like one who's screaming.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
It's okay, Sam. It's just serious.
Oh my god. Sam, oh. A baby boy. Hello, it is actually a couple days later and I realized I never updated you guys again. But I finished When Night Breaks. I didn't finish it within the 24-hour readathon, but when the 24 hours were up, I was only 60 pages from the end, so I did finish it in that same day, just not within our 24-hour readathon, but it's done. I am feeling a lot of emotions. I think the last clip I filmed was me just freaking out at something that happened, which I will explain what it was in the spoilery part, but I'm sorry that I didn't update a lot throughout this book. I couldn't think of what to say that wasn't spoilery. So my spoiler-free thoughts of this book is I think it was definitely a satisfying conclusion to this duology. There were definitely a lot of parts that I loved about this book, and there were a few things that I didn't love as much. I think my main, not problem, because I really loved this book. I did give it 4.5 stars, so I loved this book. I do love the first one just a little bit more, but I thought this was a great sequel to the first book. But I think my main issue with this one is we didn't see a lot of the characters from the first book in in this one. Like Eros wasn't in this book too much, Canary wasn't in this book too much, and I really missed them, especially Eros. I really wanted more development from him, and he's one of my favorite parts of the first book, so I definitely missed him in this book. But that's really my main issue. I think another thing is that I found a lot of stuff kind of confusing, but I think that's less about the writing and more because I read this within like 2 days, and I think if I hadn't read this during a 24-hour readathon when I was really tired, then I would have understood more. So I think that's more of a me thing than the book's fault. But there was just a lot of new elements to this book that was introduced that you didn't see in the first book. So I think if I had read this over a longer period of time, then I would have understood all those things. But those, aside from those things, like I really loved this book. I really loved how it explored Kalia a lot more. Obviously she's the main character in the first book, but you really kind of explore her mindset in this book, and she's going through a lot. And you also get to see a lot more of Jack in this book. And at first, I mean, Jack is not my favorite character in the first book. I don't really like him that much, but in this one, I did like him a bit more, especially the end, like how his story ends. I found that very interesting, and I know Janella Angelis has said that she'd be interested in writing companion books for this series, and I think if she wrote a story about Jack and what has to do with the end of this book, I think that would be really interesting because I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to know where his story goes from here. This book definitely made me like Jack more, especially the stuff you find out about him. Because you find out something pretty big. There's a lot of reveals in this book. Like a lot, and I didn't really see any of them coming except for one of them, which I'll explain again in my spoiler section. But yeah, you find out some stuff about Jack, and I did not see that coming, but I thought it was really interesting, and I'm excited to reread the first book again one day, knowing that information and seeing all the hints, because once that was revealed, I did think of a few things from the first book, and I was like, oh, okay, I see how they did that. But yeah, I really loved that. I also loved the development of Kalia and DeMarco, and they're put in a really hard position in this book, and it definitely puts a strain on their relationship, but I thought their story was done really well, which was something that I was looking forward to seeing how she would handle in this book. So I thought that was done really well. I loved all the new characters we met. I mean, Harold, I didn't love at first, but I grew to like him a lot. I definitely liked Vane a lot, and Roth. Now, sometimes Roth, I did find he felt kind of like a cartoon villain, but I did find him a very interesting character, especially the stuff you find out about him and how he kind of connects to Kalia. All of that was very interesting, so I don't really know what else to say that is not spoilery. I thought this was a very satisfying conclusion to the series, and I was really happy with this book. There was just a few things that I would have liked to see more of, or a few things I would have changed, but I've been waiting for this book for over a year and a few months, so I had a lot of theories in my head and a lot of things I was looking forward to, so there was bound to be something that, you know, didn't live up to what I had built up in my mind. So all of that said, I gave this 4.5 stars, and I have a feeling if I did reread this one day, I would give it 5 stars. I would just need to take my time with it and not read it within 2 days. But yeah, if you have read the first book but haven't read this one yet, I think you're gonna like it if you're a fan of the first book, and I'm really excited to see what other people think of this one because I haven't seen many reviews for this book yet. So that's it for my non-spoilery thoughts. So if you are leaving now, thank you so much for watching. But for the rest of this video, it's going to be spoiler thoughts about this book. So thanks for watching. Get out of here before you get spoiled. Okay, so spoiler thoughts. First of all, I was nervous about Kalia and DeMarco's relationship in this book. Obviously, we know this book is inspired by Hadestown, and the thought of DeMarco going, because I knew that DeMarco would go into this like underworld sort of thing to rescue Kalia, and I was hoping that their reunion would be like them seeing each other and them running into each other's arms, but I had a feeling that that's not what was gonna happen, and it didn't. So I did find their reunion perfect, especially in the context of what Janella decided to do with this. And I really loved how they didn't realize that they were real at first. Like, they kept being like, is this real? And they thought they were illusions and they were dancing, but they didn't even realize that they were, you know, the real person was right in front of them. I thought that was really nice. And then like when they realize and they kiss, and I really loved their reunion, even though like soon after they kind of start to fight, and the exploration of their relationship afterwards was so heartbreaking because Kalia is assuming, like, she's very hesitant about going back into the real world and she feels like she needs to stay, and like she tells DeMarco that she needs to stay but he has to go back. And it was so sad reading about, like, after they kind of reunite, it was so sad to read about their conversations because they kept saying that DeMarco would never forget her, but she was going to basically live an immortal life, and so she would probably eventually forget him, and that was so heartbreaking to read about. But I also thought that was done so well, and then she eventually does decide to go back, and a lot of the stuff with this underworld, I can't remember what they call it, but the world below, I guess. I did find that a bit confusing about how that world worked exactly, but I think again that was because I read this in such a short period of time. So they do go back together, and I loved how that ended, and I loved the epilogue of her getting ready for another performance and he's with her in her dressing room. Like, I love I love seeing those moments between them, so I really loved all of their moments in this book, even though it was quite heartbreaking at times, but ultimately they had a happy ending, and yeah, I just love them so much. And it was definitely hard, especially at the beginning of the book. It was so hard. Like, they missed each other so much, and DeMarco kept thinking about, right before she disappeared, how she kept being like, you'll still be here at the end of this, right? And obviously, like, he feels guilty in a way, even though she's the one who kind of chose to leave. Like, he feels so guilty because she said that, and that was so heartbreaking. And like, they kept remembering the whole thing with the greenhouse, and oh my god, it was just so sad. Like, there was no way this book wasn't gonna be sad, and it was just so sad reading that. So that's my thoughts about Kalia and DeMarco. Now, the thing that I was talking about earlier that I had guessed properly, now that I think of it, I have a feeling that most people will probably guess this, but it's the fact that Vane was actually Ava, DeMarco's sister. Like, as soon as we met her, I was kind of like, because there was no way we weren't gonna meet Ava. Like, I didn't think there was any way we were gonna read this book and they would be like, well, we never found Ava. Time to go. Like, we were like halfway through the book and we still hadn't even heard of Ava, so I was like, okay, I have a feeling Vane is Ava, and then I was right. I kind of like that Vane ended up choosing to stay behind in the world below because she had found her home there and she had found her community and she found what she was passionate about, and I really like that she didn't just go back just to be with DeMarco again, even though obviously, like, in a perfect world they would have gotten to reunite and stay together, but she had found what made her really happy. And especially because DeMarco, like, we find out that DeMarco has been stealing magic from Kalia and also Ava without knowing it, and I think it would have been easy to either have her go back because, like, he apologized, she's like, oh my god, it's okay, I'll go back, but I really liked that she followed what made her happy and she stayed behind. And even though it's really sad, but I like that, like, DeMarco and her had some closure because he has never stopped feeling guilty about her disappearance. So I was really happy with how that storyline ended. And then there's Jack. So I don't even know where to start with Jack. So we find out that Jack is actually an illusion created, well, we think created by Roth, and then we find out at the end he wasn't created by Roth, he was created by the, like, the demons. So that was interesting to find out. But we find out that Jack is not as bad of a guy as we think, even though he still kind of bothers me a bit. But oh my god, this part made me so angry. Not angry, like, oh my god. So he gives, like, Kalia's memories back to her, and the one memory that she sees is from a long time ago when she's basically trying to get Jack to kiss her or do more because she feels like they both like each other, and he stops it and then takes her memory away. And oh my god, reading that scene was so uncomfortable because, like, I know some people ship Jack and Kalia, I definitely do not, and so reading that, like, the fact that Kalia at one point wanted to be with Jack, I was like, no, 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 no. So I was happy that Jack took her memory for that. Like, oh my god, that was rough. And then, like, we know that Jack still has feelings for Kalia, but he is the bigger person and he lets her go. Well, he kind of has to stay behind, but he lets her go in a figurative sense to be with DeMarco. And, like, the way it ends with him, he wants to, like, rebuild this world below, and Vane stays behind, and I'm wondering if Janella had plans for them to end up together, because especially the way they were talking at the end, I was like, interesting. So if she does write any stories following Jack, like after the events of this book, I'd be interested to see if him and Vane end up together, and especially like what kind of kingdom he builds with her. And so that was definitely very interesting. Harold, I liked him, but I would have liked to see more of him. It kind of just felt like he was kind of Eros 2.0, but I was so upset that we didn't see more of Eros in this book. Like, we saw him a little bit and then he was basically gone for like the whole middle section of the book, and then we see him again at the very end, and I really missed him. I really would have liked to see more between him and DeMarco, because in the first book, like, I really liked all their interactions, and I also would have loved to see Eros and Kalia's reunion, and we didn't get that. So that I was kind of disappointed by, but obviously, like, you can't have it all. The whole climax, like with them fighting Roth and Kalia fighting him, and the whole thing with the mirror, I don't know if I quite understood everything that happened. I assume Roth is gone. I think he's dead. But yeah, that whole climax I found a little confusing, but again, this was after I had not slept very much and had been reading this book for basically 24 hours straight, so my mind was not in the best place reading the ending. So I think I definitely need to reread this one day and see if I understand everything better. I also really liked seeing the diamond rings and their friendship. That was so cute. And like, obviously Vane at first, like, she kind of has to warm up to Kalia, but I really liked Vane and Kalia's friendship, which they eventually become friends. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think those are the main things. So overall, like I've said a million times, I really loved this book, and I am really glad that I vlogged my experience for you guys. And I'm assuming if you're still here, that means you've read both of these books, or you're Rachel and you don't care. So hi, Rachel. But let me know what you guys thought about this duology. Did you like the first or second book more? What did you think about this book? Did you think it was a worthy conclusion to the series? Do you think she's gonna write more stories in this world? Let me know. I would love to chat about it with you guys below. And if you write any comments that include spoilers, just leave like a spoiler warning in your comment, just so people don't accidentally get spoiled if they look at the comments. But I think that's everything for this video. I know it's probably gonna be a long one, so thank you guys so much if you're still here. If you are, I don't know if there's a mirror emoji, but leave a mirror emoji if there is one, and if not, leave like the theater mask emojis. Anything to do with theater or mirrors, something like that, leave that down below if you are still watching this video. But this was a really fun video to do, and yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!